Hey, this is Leif Johnson. I reviewed Hand of Fate for IGN. I did the bulk of my playthrough on the Xbox One, and it's also available on the PS4, but this is actually the PC version, and that's important because it gets a little bit better frame rates. Like right now, I'm going to press start.
The cards will be dealt, and fate.
And you see that would have been so clippy on the Xbox One. But this one actually runs a little bit better, although I did notice that sometimes the music will go off. The dealer, who's a really cool guy here, will sometimes stop speaking. But let's go ahead and jump in here. Let's hope none of that actually happens. So yes, what this is, it's a collectible card game that also doubles as an action RPG, and it also has little elements of choose your own adventure in here, and it works really cool the way it is. And I love the woodcut style artwork on here. So this is actually starting a new level, so you can look at it right here, and this is basically the story mode that you're looking in front of you. So we're going to choose this one.
Face one of the fiercest of the Ratmen.
And one of the things I say in
Luck.
he wishes me luck. One of the things that I say in the review is that there's a very nice deck building element to this. And see, this is the way it works. You pick up, he gives you tokens as you win certain encounters. And those tokens in turn gives you cards for equipment. So say we have, the standard axes and stuff up here, but we also have some cooler stuff like huge hammer, Fortitude's Breath, which is a good shield, and regular shield, Armor of Cold, and you could just put this in here. And so what happens when you're actually playing the action RPGs point, these will sometimes drop, or you can win them as rewards, and you can use them in the action. So it's really good to have a good deck going on here. And not right now. And then at the other hand, we have the encounters. And so see, let's pick one that I really know. It's like here, very simple, a winding trail, and that'll, suddenly a tree falls across your path, blocking the way ahead, and a scenario will build from there. He'll deal you cards that show, like there's a 4 of skulls and 4 skeletons will pop out. So it's actually very cool, and it's a nice mix of the two. And so see, ambush. You're going to get an ambush. That'll be goblins or something like that. And so let's go ahead and jump in. For the sake of speed, I am just going to use the recommended deck. I found that they're actually very nice. And so back out of there, we got a full deck. And let's start it with Jack of Plague. So yes, building your own deck isn't going to give you an easy time because the dealer actually throws in his own cards here, which actually makes it a little bit more difficult. Some of the times he has curses, some of the times he has burdens, anything that can actually just kind of just ruin your day. There's the rockfall that I described in the review itself, and it's kind of it's good stuff. And I hope you can hear me over that. So yes, so what it is you can see here, currently I only have one spot to go, and this is the way it goes, and you kind of progress to the end. I'm pretty sure at the end there we're going to see a stairwell or something. So let's try this out. Mr. Lionel. So this is one of these cards that it'll give you, usually I tend to get a shield from Mr. Lionel, which is good. So yes, you have this little choose your own adventure thing. He talks. And so you can give him bread from your plate. If you look over in the lower left-hand corner, I don't actually have bread. So let's just have no gold either. So let's ask him what he needs. And voila, he gives me an equipment card. So let's hope it's a shield. Nah, it's not. It's medium armor.
In every way.
Okay, and so now we're done there. We're going to take our next turn. And pop, now I get to fight the goblins. And the good thing is that now we're actually going to see the action combat that I was talking about. It's very similar to Shadow of Mordor or Arkham Asylum. And because he's drawn this card here, we're going to be fighting 3 goblins because it's the 3 of goblins. And so let's just jump in here. Oh, we'll also be fighting 2 skeletons, so mixing it up a bit. And as you get progressed in the game, there'll be a lot more of these. And that's where most of the game's challenge comes from. It's, let's see how many enemies that you can fight out. It does ultimately get kind of boring, but that's mainly because the combat itself never really changes. It's pretty much the same thing. You block, you can occasionally use some special abilities and stuff, but you dodge out of the way and you counter. That's about it. And I'm going to go ahead and skip the opening animation here for the sake of time. A little bit of a frame rate drop there. And so as you can see, yes, this is very much And basically, right now, I'll be honest with you, I am just smashing the X button. There's the A. And this is very similar to Diablo, if you gotta kill these guys before they make a portal. So... And I'll be honest, I really am just kind of mashing the X button. Now, the thing is, if I actually had a shield, you would see a little prompt similar to what you see in Arkham Asylum or Shadow of Mordor that would enable you to actually block that with the shield. And maybe... And see, this guy was just making his port... Oh, no! Yeah, I gotta stop that. Oh, he hopped in. I lost him because I was too busy chatting. And where's this guy going? He went to... So, yes. Oh! There you go. I think you just saw that the sound kind of cut out there on the PC version. That's what I'm talking about. That won't actually happen on the Xbox version. So it got really quiet there. And that's one of the downsides of playing this one. I said in the review that I believe the Xbox One is actually the more stable release, and I believe that. But I've heard stories of people saying that their Xbox Ones have crashed. I never experienced that myself, but I'm just throwing that out there. So yes, helpful priest here. The thing is, I don't really have them. And see, that's part of the appeal of this deck thing. Because see, if I were later in the game and I had lower health or something like that, it would be really nice to have that priest come along and heal me. But since I'm at 100% health, it doesn't really do me any good. So I might regret that later on. But the problem is that for the first several hours, it's really not that difficult. You have food is required to go from section to section. And see... This is a little section. He's making basically a little dungeon map. You can see over in the lower left-hand corner that I have 6 food. That'll go down each time I make a step. So boom, say that I just went down there, so that's 5. But here's the Embertown hero. I mentioned him in the review, I believe. And so I've been attacked. And haha. So see if I can make this guy pay. Twisted Canyon. This is one. There's a lot of these where you'll see this where you jump down, and so there's a small chance that I could have a failure, but I didn't. I'm going to get the weapon, and so now he'll give me a card to draw from. Draw 1 weapon card, and there, very nice. That is a nice mage. See, mace. Excuse me.
Really?
Yes.
Is that what you're going to do?
You better believe I'm going to do that with that type of damage. So let's go ahead and try this.
Find out what type of character.
And reviews to deal with the dealer scum. And so now we're going to jump in here. Now the nice thing is I'm actually playing in the story mode right now. And one of the things I say in the review is that there's an endless mode, which you basically see how long you can hold out. I believe that's the best opportunity for replayability because it doesn't, it doesn't give you these easy scenarios for so long. It pretty much just dumps you into the challenges, and it's actually quite fun, and you get to see a lot more of the cards that he uses. And I really wish that this one would give me a shield right now, so I could actually show you before we run out of time what it's like to counter, because that's a very important part of the game. So let's try this, and once again I'm going to skip the animation. Basically he rises out of the card. But it's really cool. Like I said, it's, you don't have any choice about what your character looks like. But it's like, it's like Ragnar from Vikings jumping into Fable 2. And there we go. There's the sound cutting off again. This is the PC version, guys. So yes, that's it. But like I said, typically by now I would have a shield. And as a result, I would be able to counter some of those attacks. But the good thing is that this is a pretty good introduction to what the game is like. Say this token right here. Once I defeat the end boss at the end of the level, I'll be able to open that, and that's basically the cards that I won. And see, not all of the cards that the dealer gives are bad. This one right here, there's a traveling tinker, and so I'll be able to purchase stuff. It would be really nice, if I need food later on, I need gold. But that's another thing. I may have already said this, but the dealer he's not really too mean on you for the first several hours.
Collecting all that gold, you now have your answer.
And yeah, so say if I really needed to buy food, which I don't right now, I could do it.
Resources and rewards.
And there. And so then I don't have to worry about progressing in the game as much and dying before I even reach the end of the level. But basically, as the guy just says right there, there's a constant juggle of risk and reward. It does get pretty hard, and I love the open ending of it. It's like very much like the pen and paper Dungeons and Dragons games, in a way that the D&D games themselves never actually capture. And I love that about this. It always feels, especially when you're using the endless mode and you have a higher variety of cards, it feels more like, you know...
Do you understand what it is we do now? Or did I rush you through the rules?
We don't need to call a priest right now. But yes, it's very much more like the old D&D games, and I think that's a very good thing. I love its challenges, and they do get better, and it's very nice to see it with a shield. I'm sorry you couldn't see that. And it's a generally fun game, despite the glitches, and despite the fact that at combat, as you can see, the very short bouts and stuff, it does get repetitive in time over a couple of hours. But for all that's reasons, it's an enjoyable game, but it does have those very minor shortcomings. I'm going to give it a 7.0. And... it's if you like this kind of mix, collectible card games and action RPGs, and that's very much something where I like both of those genres. It's very much a game I believe that you'll enjoy playing. And for more on Hand of Fate, stick with IGN.